Brother, if you can breathe and you can see this video, that means you were put on this earth for a reason. That means God put you on this earth for a reason. And if you don't figure it out, you will never become fulfilled. In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can use your hardships and your rock bottom to become something great. How you can use your struggles to be that weapon. You can weaponize your struggles to not only learn from them, but to use them as a fuel to make you better. The truth is, in my life, that is exactly what I did to build my dream physique, to become a man of discipline and consistency, to become a man who can wake up at 4 a.m. every single day, can be consistent with everything he eats, become a man who has never missed a gym, become a man who is so confident in the complete opposite of who I used to be. Because if you guys have a gift, before you do anything, I want you to sit down and pray to God and thank him for what you are going through, because you have the opportunity to use this to become great. No matter what you're going through, you have an opportunity. So I'm going to get into my life story. So I used to be in so many different hobbies and all of these things, and it got to a point to where instead of being obsessed with something that was good for my life, whether it was, sports or flips or magic or BMX, any of the activities I would become obsessed with, I became obsessed with drinking, smoking, porn, all the negative things. During this period of my life, this went on for years until God gave me derealization, which is basically the anxiety symptom from either the weed or whatever it was, separating you completely from your body, from the world around you, from all your friends, and it makes you basically dissociated. Every single thing I've been through my whole entire life, every single thing I have been through in my life has led me into the man I am today, into the man I am now, into who I am right now. Every single solitary step of my journey has been for a reason. And I'm just making this video because I know there's some men out there who are going through some shit. Going through something that you can't put into words, right? Going through something that is so difficult. Whatever it is, I know there are so many men who are dealing with this because that's what I went through, and I just know there are other people out there, and I'm making this video to just give you some light, to realize that what you are going through is for a reason. It's for a purpose. There is meaning behind it. And everything I've been through my whole entire life has been for a reason. Every single prayer I've said to God, hey, instead of giving me the gift that I prayed for, he gave me a solution. He gave me a problem in which I get broken down. Just like when you're in the gym, you're training in the gym, you have to beat your muscles down before they can build themselves back up. So God would put me purposely through hardships to kind of sculpt me, and over time, during it, while I was in my worst moment. So I had derealization basically, to where I thought my brain was fucked forever. And while I was in this state of derealization, I continued to smoke, I continued to drink, I continued to party and do shit that was destroying my life. But over time, I started to get signals. My intuition kind of felt God giving me this vision that the reason he gave me derealization, the reason I felt dissociated, was so God could get me off of the path that I was going down and get me down the path that I was meant to go down. So during this time, I started to see different things. I started to get a different light. I started to say, hey, I don't think this is the man I was meant to become. I don't think I'm supposed to be hyper obsessed with drugs and all of these things. I think I have purpose in my life. And I wouldn't have realized this if I didn't get this. So I would have been mediocre, I would have been average, and I would have been a mediocre person for the rest of my life with no goals and ambitions. I had these goals, but I gave up on them because of these vices. So I was forced to quit this because of how bad the derealization got. And God just made it so unbearable to where I was forced to self-develop. I had one thing I could control in life, and that was the gym. That was my self-development. That was what I could control, in which I felt hopeless. And I started to really, really maximize this one thing, which was my physique, which was my self-development, which was the foods I ate, which was the time I could wake up. And I started to control the things I could control. But over time, I would still get days to where I didn't want to live anymore, but I also didn't want to die because I was just scared of life, basically, with this derealization. But over time, more and more happened. I met this mentor that got me, basically, he was a fitness coach, just like I am now, but he was my fitness coach, basically, and I didn't buy his one-on-one, but I was in like his community group, and we used to have like group calls and stuff, and he basically changed my life for so many reasons. And over time, like, more and more opportunities count. I learned everything about nutrition, fitness, mindset, all of these things over this year. And then he started to basically scale other coaches, and I became one of a fitness coach. And I wouldn't be a fitness coach. I wouldn't have this ambition and this feeling of being able to change other people's lives if I didn't go through this thing from the start. So realizing that I was at my worst point in life, right? Wanting to give up, nothing going for me, fat, out of shape, lazy, watching porn, drinking, smoking, all these things, a loser, right? And I would have stayed that man. I would have stayed that person if I didn't say, hey, there is more to this life. Say, hey, I want to become a better man. Say, hey, this is not the life that I was meant to live. And the truth is, guys, we all have our God-given purposes. We all have our gifts that no one else has. And the gifts that you have, I don't have. The gifts that I have, you don't have. But it's up to you to find it within yourself. And a lot of men won't find it unless they hit a rock bottom, unless they hit a point to where they can't get any lower and they're forced to go up. But when you hit this point, that's where you find yourself. That's where you find yourself. You know, I went through a period of solitude during this whole time of self-development. Completely dropped the friend group. Stopped doing all the shit that was holding me back, and followed my intuition. Followed the windows and doors that God was opening for me. Because the truth is, God's going to open a door for you. But if you don't walk, nothing's going to happen. So you have to walk when God opens that door. You have to say, hey, I'm going to see where this takes me. And give it your all. Give it everything you fucking have. Because why do anything in your life if you're not going to go all in? If you're not going to give it 100%? And if you're not going to see where you could go practically? The thing is with my life, you know, I had a good life, but I was always like insecure at the core about who I was, because I never really had something going for me, right? I would always quit something. I would always go basically 90%. I would take it all the way until I basically became the best or whatever, where I thought I was good, and then I'd switch. But I never ever saw where something could take me. And for the first time in my life, there is so much meaning and weight behind what I am doing. There is so much passion behind the words I am speaking, and there is so much for what I am doing. Now, I have a mission, and all of you guys as men should have a mission. It is not wrong to want to conquer as a man, and no matter what you guys are going through, understand that the depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. Next time you look at your issue and you want to give up, right? You want to quit, and you feel like it's hard, you feel like it's difficult, you feel like, you know, this isn't the time to where you can keep going. Say, thank you, God, for putting me through this, because now I'm not going to be mediocre. Now I'm not going to be average. Now I can bring out a person and a life that is greater than myself, because before this hardship, you were nothing. And now you have something, because you have two choices when you go through some shit: to become bitter or to become better. And when you can look at your situation and say, hey, I'm going to become better. I'm going to become great. I'm going to become the man that I was meant to become, that God put me on this earth to become. That's when you've made it, really. And you have to make it before you make it. That's what a lot of people do. They also don't understand is when you are going through some shit right now, when you are going through something difficult, the only way for you to change, the only way for you to get your life back, the only way for you to bring that person you know exists to life is to become that man today. Become that man now. Say, hey, I'm going to become that man today. And in my life, when I had my derealization, when I wanted to give up, when my whole entire life felt fake, it didn't feel real, I always separated the man that was out of derealization, that was happy, that was successful financially, mentally, physically, from the person I was at that time. Therefore, I was always this far away. I was always just not there. But until I said, you know, no matter how shitty I feel, I can be confident. I can be that man. I can talk to myself. I can at least try to monitor and control my thoughts. And over time, that trying to control your thoughts becomes, with practice, you can start to control your thoughts. And if you don't know, your thoughts shape your reality. So my thoughts started to shape this new reality of myself. Walking around, I got on semen retention, went over 200 days, quit every single vice you could name. I locked in, built my dream physique, changed my life in all aspects. Why? Because I chose myself, and I understood that no one was coming to save me and that only I could save myself. And from there, I started to build this relationship with God. And instead of just worshiping God, you kind of work with God. It's co-creation with God, because your intention is God's intention. And when you can work together to understand and detach from your issues, detach from the hard times, that's when you can realize and basically detach from any situation and use it for growth, use it to get better. And when you can use a situation that is rough, that is hard, to get better, you will be unstoppable. Auto-suggestion, guys. Auto-suggestion basically is the ideology that when you basically do anything the way you do everything in life, all the things you can control, when you maximize on them, you will build unbreakable confidence. So instead of looking at the things that are hard in your life that are out of your control, look at the things you can't control. Every single rep in the gym, every single morning you wake up, every single dish you eat, everything that goes into your body, that comes out of your mouth, you can control. You can control so many things in your life, and when you can maximize all of these things, your brain has no choice but to adhere to your demands that you are a fucking warrior. So, this is a quick video. I had to get this out while I could. I appreciate you guys for all watching. We're all in this together. We are all sculpting the man we were meant to become every single day. Let's go, boys. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you want to follow my Instagram, link is going to be in the bio. You can see what I do on a daily basis. Everything I do, you can get a lot of advice, my morning wake-ups, all of that. Connect with me on there. I'll catch you boys in the next video.